So this is going to be a reading for my Pisces. Thank you so much for joining me. We're going to go ahead and get straight into the reading. If at any point you may be looking for any information about the session or anything like that, all that will be listed in the description below. Pisces, what are some messages that I need to pass on to them for June 2021? Okay. So the first message we have here, we have suffering in silence. And the first thing that I'm picking up on, there's something that below the surface, you guys have been really taking the time out to, like, not outwardly express your distaste for certain things. So you could be burying your feelings below. You could be burying your feelings below the surface about a relationship, about a job, really going through it in terms of like not knowing exactly who to speak to. And with this energy, I want you guys to know that there is a need for you to make sure you're not taking this approach of bottling your feelings up and not actually expressing your feelings in a sense. There's also a need for you guys to make sure that you're taking some time to look at what is causing you to experience mental anguish. This would be like almost the Eight of Swords in like the regular tarot for me, or like maybe even like the Nine of Swords. But yeah, some of you are just not really happy or content, and this is a sign that there's something that needs to change. I don't want you guys to necessarily feel stuck or confused, but looking at exactly what you can do to get out of this energy necessarily. Some of you also, you're just kind of possibly caught up in your past, or feel like your past may have caught up with you in some sort of way. And some of you are just allowing your issues to become bigger than they naturally are. Like having limiting thoughts can control your way of viewing things. And this is basically showing that you need to let go. It's time to face your fears and look at it head on. And if you don't take this opportunity to confront your fears, then you guys will continue to feel like you're mental anguish or you're mentally stuck. And this is also a sign that you also need to be more mindful of your thoughts. Now, some of you, your health is the problem. Some of you are needing to feed yourself more nourishing foods, or like you have like a semi-bad diet that could be affecting your mental health and possibly even affecting your nerves. So this is you guys needing to look at that. Some of you guys, your energy's low. That's why you're experiencing like anxiety attacks and things like that. So you do need to be aware of that. Now, the next card that we have wisdom. And the message here, you guys have gone through enough up until this point that you have all the tools necessary to make some better decisions here. Some of you also need to make sure that you're making wiser decisions, again, based off of your experiences, not in a way where it's like bitterness and you're like, oh, well, I'm making this decision because I went through something bad in my past, but necessarily being smart in your decision making and not like falling victim to the circumstances again. Now, the next card that we have, Pisces, we do have new beginnings. So for a lot of you, you want new energy. It's either you're about to step into this energy or you want just new energy where you don't feel, like I said, mentally stuck and things like that. In order for you to experience this quote unquote new beginning in energy, there's going to be a requirement of you shutting out the past. Okay, you're going to have to shut out the past. You're going to have to shut out the noise that's going on inside of your head that makes you consider whether or not there's an opportunity to go back to the past and to fix things, especially relationship wise. We have movements, choices, and decisions. So this is what's shaping your life right now, is your movements, choices, and decisions. If you don't feel like your life is what you want it to look like, what are your movements, choices, and decisions looking like? It always has to do with more self-accountability. When we feel as if we're unhappy with certain things, we have to look at self and figure out, well, what exactly is making me feel discontent? What exactly is it? And it may be some of you guys just not making the best choices. It may be more emotional in the moment. It may be fulfilling in the moment, but in the long term, if you have to go back and look at your choices and be in discontentment or feeling as if you didn't make the right choice, then yeah, this is a sign that you do need to be careful of making decisions based off of how you feel at the moment, not necessarily what makes sense in the long term. And the last card we have is Love Begins. So right now, if you're single, this is the perfect time to really take some time to love on yourself. If you're like, I don't want to say like itching to be in a relationship, but if you're like really, really wanting to be in a relationship, like bad, almost to a point where it's sending you into a depression, some of you really do need to love on yourself in terms of just taking the time to pour into yourself so that you don't keep attracting relationships that are perfect for like preying on someone. So usually what happens is if somebody doesn't really love on themselves enough, they'll be desperate to be in another relationship, and then they get into that relationship and that person plays on the desperation to be in the relationship. So for a lot of you, you being single right now is actually building that personal barrier so that you don't get ran over in certain cases where it's like cheating going on or anything of that nature. And the other cards that I have here, Pisces, we have this situation will improve, we have unlikely, and we have listen to your intuition. So what you're going through, it will improve. If you are going through any sort of like mental health issues, it will get better for you as long as you guys are having this optimism and looking for the light at the end of the tunnel, for one. Then we also have unlikely. So this is letting you guys know straight up that something that you guys keep putting your energy into, or you may have more of a fairy tale view of, may not necessarily be panning out the way that you may have it envisioned in your head. And that's okay. It's just, you do need to listen to your intuition, so you guys don't keep running into certain problems and looking back and seeing where you may have been kind of naive to certain things. But this is what I see. I hope I did put things in perspective for you. If at any point you want a personal or anything like that, check out the information listed below, and I will see you in the next one.